Thank you for watching a new live edition of the East West Football Podcast. I am Fidel Barraza. Alongside with me, like always, Kendall Whitley, Jerry Martinez. What's going on, guys?
Hey man, training camp, NFL training camps are back open. I'm excited. What about y'all?
I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you, man. I've been glued to all my social media outlets where I get my news, especially for football. Especially for my Cowboys too. So kind of exciting time. Cowboys just landed in Oxnard. Uh, yeah, I think who is it? Detroit Lions are going to be on the in the
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. So and of course we got the news earlier on about how NFL is going to start changing certain things.
Yeah, and our offseason review continues, and we're going to talk about the AFC East today. So let's start off with the Buffalo Bills. So key additions, Case Keenum, O.J. Howard, Roger Satfield, Shaq Lawson, Tim Siddle, Daquan Jones, Von Miller, Jamison Crowder, Jordan Phillips, Duke Johnson. Key departures, Levi Wallace, Harrison Phillips, A.J. Klein, Darrell Williams, John Feliciano, Cole Beasley, defensive tackle star Latulali. What do you guys think of the Bills' offseason moves?
Ooh, they had a big offseason. Losing players and gaining players. Whatever way you want to take it, they had a pretty big offseason. I think the biggest one would be Von Miller. And it was a big game for them. It'd be interesting to see how much he has left. And then they did lose Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley. I think those going to hurt him a little bit. But the talk at the camp is that Gabriel Davis, he's had a pretty good offseason. And we saw what he did to the Chiefs last year in the divisional round. So maybe that's going to be a pretty good. He's going to be ascending player this year opposite Stephon Diggs. They did bring on I don't know, I forgot if you mentioned Jameson Crowder. They brought on Jameson Crowder, so I think that's good. Isaiah McKenzie had a pretty good year last year. So I think our offense, they're stacked. Defense, they're stacked too. They had a pretty good draft. They got Elam out of Florida. So, and I've heard he's had a pretty good offseason. So, Gregory Rousseau, can he come on in his second year and be a force opposite Von Miller? So I think if those things happen, I think they're gonna be all right this year, the Buffalo Bills.
I really like what the general manager has done with this team. I think overall he's built up a championship caliber, uh, you know, overall roster. I see them, winning. They could potentially. I know they have a very tough division, and especially with the Patriots and the Dolphins kind of right behind them. But they're the type of team that could win 12 to 15 games with its roster that they've put together. And I do think that Crowder could be an upgrade over Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley is a sure-handed, he's sure-handed. He get you that catch you need. But with Jameson Crowder, he has that sure hand plus a little bit of playmaking action afterwards. So, obviously what we wanted to see them do was, improve on a couple areas, right? They needed help opposite of their star Tre'Davious White, their star cornerback Tre'Davious White, and they went and got Khalil, goodness, Elam, right? Who's long, who's fast. I think that is a good pairing, right? Because Tre'Davious White is like about what 5'10". Elam is around 6'1", I believe. Ran a 4.3 40. And then the other question mark is they've been needing to get a running game for a couple of seasons, and they went and drafted James Cook. So it looks like they're expecting these two rookies to step up and to become professionals immediately. So it's kind of hard when I look at James Cook. He looks like the same kind of running back that David Singletary and who's the other running back they have. They're just smaller running backs, but
Yeah.
we got to give Cook, where credit is due. That's Dalvin Cook's, brother. So, there's something in that. There's something in that bloodline that maybe he can, tote the rock and maybe get that running game going. Because if that running game can go, wow, I think that watch out, the Bills can, you know, finally make it to the Super Bowl, and Bills Mafia is going crazy.
Yeah, I think another key departure that we haven't talked about yet is Brian Daboll, the offensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach of the New York Giants. I think obviously he's helped Josh Allen develop tremendously, and he's had some pretty good seasons. So I think that might be a little bit of adjustment for Josh. But I think the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC. I really do. I mean, they were so close. They should be Kansas City if it wasn't for that. I don't want to say fluke, but that catch by Tyreek Hill in the middle of the field and kind of taking it all the way down the field. I really don't see too many weaknesses on this football team.
Yeah, I think the Bills are the best team, and I think it's they lead the pack in AFC. It's not close right now. I think the Bills are the best team, and it's been a while since we've been able to say that because they've been in the AFC East and they've been dominated by a team. So I mean, it's crazy.
We see the banners behind you, so we know what team you're referring to. All right. Well, speaking of that team, let's go and talk about the New England Patriots. Key additions: Mac Wilson, Terrence Mitchell, Ty Montgomery, and Malcolm Butler coming out of retirement. Key departures. The list is it's pretty long. Chase Winovich, J.C. Jackson, Ted Karras, Gunnar Olszewski, Kyle Van Noy, Jacob Johnson, Brandon Bolden, Shaq Mason. What do you guys think of the Patriots offseason? Or I guess I should start off with Kendall.
Yes, sir. You forgot one name, a big name, Dante Hightower. He's not there this year, man. That's going to take me to my next point where we got away from that slow mode of linebacking. The big linebacker. We had Gerard Mayo, Dante Hightower, and Teddy Bruschi and Vrabels. This is a new age for the Patriots. We got faster linebackers. Mac Wilson, opposite Judon. Judon, he got a little bit of speed with him. Ronnie Perkins coming off the injury from last year. Anthony Jennings. We have Raekwon McMillan. Cal McGrone from Michigan, he sat out. He redshirted last year, but he was hurt. So we got a lot of depth there at linebacker this year. We also have Jabril Peppers, so we have a few pieces there. Cal Durkin entering his third year. Devin McCourty, he's still back there. You forgot one name on offense, not Malcolm Butler, but Devontae Parker. He will be debuting with the Patriots this year. I think it's one of the biggest deals of the offseason. I think we had a solid draft. A lot of names that we drafted people didn't know. But I think they're known by mid-season. I think the Patriots are going to have a good year this year. I'm not saying it just because I'm a fan of them, a big fan of them, but I think we're going to have a pretty good year. And we ain't going to say how many wins right now, but I'm going to say it again. I think we have a pretty good year.
I like what the Patriots have done. And like Kendall said, so many names are coming back. A lot of them were red shirts that they drafted. I think that one of the linebackers, Cameron McGrone, man, he was a terror for Michigan. Sometimes he was a hothead. But I mean, there's going to be there's still some questions up in the air, right? I think at one point we talked about it. Who is going to be calling the offensive play calls? Because Josh McDaniels is now the Las Vegas Raiders head coach, right? And so, we heard a little bit that it was going to be the Giants' former, and then we heard Matt Patricia, and then we heard a little bit of Matt Patricia and a little bit of goodness, what's his name?
Belichick too. They were saying Bill's going to be calling plays supposedly,
but now what's his name from the Giants?
Joe
Judge. So that needs to be situated because I'll tell you this, I like how the Patriots emphasize getting the running game going. In fact, the only thing that I think that is really missing is that true running back that could, make plays like a Saquon Barkley type running back. I think that would make the Patriots kind of get over that hump for them. But man, for what they are able to do with what I think they have 6 running backs, Kendall, and you guys had number 1 rushing offense in the entire league. So
yeah, we have a bunch of backs back there, and I'm gonna give you a name to keep an eye on. You talk about that Saquon Barkley back. Think about keep on this name, Pierre Strong. I think he's gonna have a pretty good year for this year. James White might be starting the season on PUP, so I think Pierre Strong is an interesting name to keep an eye on this year.
Yeah, Pierre Strong was considered a late round gem in this last draft class, but overall, I like what I see. It's a young team, completely young team. I think if Mac Jones can use the tools that they gave him, or not tools, but use the actual weapons that they were able to give him, right? Devontae Parker for the 50-50, and then they went out there and they drafted Taquan Thornton, who ran a 4.2 40 in the 40. I mean, wow, the sky is truly the limit. I do see them still right now 8 to 11 games until we finalize who's going to be calling the plays for the offense.
And I think a report had came out and saying that they were going to name actual coordinator for the offense or the defense. It was just going to be kind of by committee. So it seems like everyone's going to have a hand in the play calling.
As long as everybody in the house knows where to get the plays from, that's all that matters. We don't have it's none of our business.
That's never good.
but also, too, I think it's a really good point to bring up. Josh McDaniels leaving and being the head coach of the Raiders now. I think that's going to be an adjustment for Mac. And, second year, in the NFL now. So we'll see how that adjustment goes.
True.
All right, let's move along to the Miami Dolphins. So obviously, new head coach Mike McDaniel. They had a pretty revamped offseason. So let's start with the key additions. Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, Chase Edmonds, Teddy Bridgewater, Raheem Mostert, Connor Williams, Cedric Wilson, Alec Ingold, Keon Crossan, and Trent Sheffield. Departures, Matt Collins, Jacoby Brissett, Duke Johnson, and Greg Manx. What'd you guys think of the Dolphins offseason?
Busy.
Really
busy. You forgot the name Sony Michel. They bring on Sony Michel.
So it's a lot of players, man. I miss one too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they brought on Sony Michel. They're going I think that's a good move for them at running back because they haven't had that true back there in a while. I think Sony Michel still young, former Patriot, former Los Angeles Rams, coming up Super Bowl season. I think Sony Michel going to be a pretty good steal for them now. That's the one I really like. Tyreek Hill. That's going to be. He's been talking up to it. He's been talking to up. So we're going to see. It's time to see what they're going to do. As what my boy know that say, what the P going to do. So it's about to get down to that point. But the real question of Miami, forget all the names. It's what's Tua. It's Tua the guy. That's what it is. So we're gonna have to see. It's a big season for him.
Well, I mean, Tyreek Hill did come out earlier today and said he's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. So
I think when we look at the Dolphins, it's they had one of the most interesting off seasons that we've seen from any team in a while. I mean, right away they got mixed up in the mix with the Sean Payton sweepstakes. Apparently, from I believe it was CBS Sports who put out that article saying that they were willing to give away a first round draft pick for Sean Payton, but going from Sean Payton to Mike McDaniel, right? McDaniels looks like a rock star head coach, man. I mean, the guy he's very he is what's the word, man? I don't want to say flamboyant, but yeah, I guess flamboyant, right? I guess he has an answer. He just knows how to he knows how to bring out the best in his crowd. So I think if anything, it's going to be a very interesting, when he has to answer the questions on why certain plays didn't work out, especially, after post game conferences. I think it's going to be must watch TV with that. But yeah, I think Kendall, you said you had a very interesting topic there. Is Tua for real? I think that this is the year where they find out. Yeah, man, I think that this is the year that they find out, can Tua be that franchise quarterback that they have been looking for since Dan Marino? And I mean, I remember Dan Marino. I don't remember him, very well, but I've done my homework, and Dan Marino is he was the closest thing to a Super Bowl that they have ever had, I think. So it's kind of hard when you go that long looking for your franchise quarterback, and they definitely had the opportunity when they had Justin Herbert right there, and they went with Tua Tagovailoa, and then of course the whole tanking for Tua. So maybe if this doesn't work out, then maybe teams will know, hey, let's not tank for certain players, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is going to be Tua's last chance. I mean, new head coach. The head coach didn't draft you. That guy's gone, right? So might bring his own guy if this doesn't work out. But I mean, I really don't see an excuse for Tua's performance not being good or up to par for this team to make a push, at least to make the playoffs. I think they have a really solid team.
Yeah, honestly, and to answer that, I think they could come away with an 8-win kind of season. I'm just saying.
I think shout out to Xavier Howard, man. He's one of those corners out there. He don't get a lot of recognition. He's a pretty good corner, top 5 corner, I think. He don't, but nobody never talks about him.
Yeah, and they still got Byron Jones too, opposite of him.
Yeah, they do. All right, let's move along to the New York Football Jets. All right, key additions: C.J. Usana, Jordan Whitehead, D.J. Reed, Laken Tomlinson, Tyler Conklin, and Jacob Martin. And key departures: Jamison Crowder, Marcus May, Blake Cashman. What do we make of the Jets offseason?
Another busy offseason. I think they did have a pretty good draft, though. I like the Garrett Wilson pick. I do like that pick. I think they had a pretty good draft. And then they got Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati, I believe. Yeah, out of Cincinnati. So I think they had a very solid draft there. I think they got some cornerstone. They're in a tough division, so I don't expect much from them this year. We want to see what Zach Wilson, boy, has he had an offseason. But we got to see what goes on there with Zach Wilson, and he's gotten bigger. I saw an interview with him the other day. He's gotten pretty big, but if he can get it, and they still have Denzel Mills, Corey Davis, and Elijah Moore from last year, so this is going to be a pretty big season for the Jets.
Yeah, Doc Wilson's a dog for sure.
Yeah, man, Zach Wilson is a dog for sure, man. I mean, that's all we saw was them storylines. But I'll tell you this: I think that this team in the next couple of seasons, I think this is going to be the rock star team out of the entire AFC East. I think, like you said, they killed it in this draft. If Zach Wilson can play like the way he did at BYU, holy smokes! Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and then of course Jeremy Ruckert, Jermaine Johnson, that defensive end that they got out of Florida State, who was projected to be, some people had him top 20, but. And then, of course, they have the coaching staff that was previously with the 49ers. This team looks like they have the potential where, come 2-3 seasons and they start putting together some nice wins and start, a win over the Patriots, a win over the Bills in the regular season. Now you're going to start seeing a bunch of Jets fans. You know what I mean? So that's the potential that the Jets have. I like what they're constructing. I think, if anything, I always follow the GMs. I think that Joe Douglas obviously did his due diligence when he was learning from Howie Roseman, and he's done a wonderful job as far as putting together a what looks like a fun team to watch going forward. And then with these alternate helmets that we're seeing, dang, man, the Jets look like a very interesting team. I do kind of have them, winning. My specific notes for them were 4 to 7 games. The upside, the dreamy upside would be 7 games, but ideally, I think for sure, they can lock in 4 wins this season and not be, the Jets of the old, right?
Yeah. So all right. So let's pick a winner for this division, and we'll go first, second, last, or first, second, third, and last.
I'm gonna go Buffalo with 12 wins. So obviously that'd be number 1. Patriots with 10, maybe 11 at most. Miami, 8 or 9 wins. Jets, I got them win 5 games. So Buffalo wins the division. New England, Miami did the Jets.
I like that. I like that order. I think that it's going to be Bills, Patriots are going to be the top dogs in that division. I think the Dolphins. Oh man, the question is, do the Dolphins finally make it into the playoffs? I mean, they got.
It all depends on Tua.
They got the weapons, man. They do.
The
Tyreek Hill is the cheetah for a reason, So
yeah.
I think, if anything, if they could just get out of their way and find a way to get the ball in the cheetah's hands, form some kind of running game to not put all the pressure on Tua, man, they could probably make it to the actual postseason this year. So, but I think that order is correct.
I'm gonna go Buffalo, Miami, New England, and New York.
Wow.
Yeah. So I really think that Mike McDaniel is gonna bring out the best in this football team. It kind of reminds me of Rex Ryan when he became the head coach of the New York Jets. Well, of course, Rex is a little bit louder than Mike is, right? But kind of the same kind of deal going on. So that's who I like to win and then have second, third, and fourth.
Who you taking, Tua or Mac Jones? for the next 5 years?
Man, it's difficult. I mean, I don't know. Like we've
If
seen
you had to
more,
pick
obviously,
right
from
now,
Tua. We've seen more from Tua. I mean, sort of, but then he's been benched, and in goes Ryan
been hurt.
Fitzpatrick,
Well,
Jacoby
hey,
Brissett.
you have a good point because look, Mac Jones put us with stinkers last year.
He did.
Last season, I think he had what? There's one game where he just could not get a rhythm for whatever reason it
That
was.
He's a
the
rookie. He's a
Indianapolis
rookie.
game stands out to me, and the Buffalo playoff game as well.
He's
What
a
game?
rookie.
What game was it, Kendall? Where
The Colts. I think it was the Colts.
it was the Colts, right?
Yeah.
So, man, it's kind of hard, but I'd rather go with Mac right now than go with Tua. I'm just I
It's
think
a toss up for me. It's a toss up.
If you
Hey,
had to pick,
Jay in the Bay, what's up?
What's up,
what's
Jay in the
going
Bay?
on, Jay?
We're not talking about the faithful today, but hey, we got to work together. Some
Hey, but we are on the Jimmy watch to see what's gonna happen.
yes. I think there. I was looking at my phone because I saw something coming up, but no, no. I thought I had seen something that they were thankful for Jimmy's services and all that stuff, but no, it's just one of those. It was a false alarm there.
Yeah. And look, I mean, just to go back to Kendall's question, I don't know. I don't like my chances with either guy, to be honest with you, right now. I guess if they had the better football team, I would feel more comfortable with Mac a little bit more than Tua, just because of the size.
Yeah, and not only that, but look at the season that he was able to help the Patriots put together, as opposed what Tua's been able to do with the Dolphins.
Well, that defense did some really good things too. So let's not forget that. I think the defense bailed them out sometimes.
Yeah, but Max still has to answer those questions this
He
season,
does.
and he needs to put together some good games where he actually took the lead and not relied on the defense and the running game as much.
He needs to throw the football.
Well,
Kendall.
maybe now that y'all have our old coach, we can do that.
Oh, well, hey, maybe he was working with what he had, and he knew he couldn't throw the football down the field. I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, we'll see.
Hey, but look, I don't remember a team ever like not naming a coordinator on the offensive side or defensive side. So I mean, that itself is going to be pretty interesting.
What Jay
Jay
say? I would
in the
take
Bay.
Max for the next 5 years.
Jay,
I don't know.
I have a question though, Jay. If you're still on, are you taking him over Trey Lance?
Yeah, probably, because we don't know what Trey Lance is.
Hey, they almost had Mac for the first 5 years already last year in the draft.
Oh.
Jimmy is expected to take his physical tomorrow at the start of 49ers camp.
That's what I was kind of reading up on, and they were saying that they were grateful for everything that he's been able to do, and but they understand that sometimes they have to make these tough decisions, especially with the cap situation and whatnot, because they did pay him a lot of money, so it's gonna be an interesting storyline. I think they waited too long to kind of to bank on maybe some kind of draft capital or some kind of.
I think the whole Deshaun Watson thing screwed up multiple teams on what was going to happen and whatnot. So,
True.
And obviously him being hurt didn't help anything out.
True. I agree.
All right. Well, with that being said, thank you everyone out there for watching and listening. We'll be back tomorrow night. Till then, have a great night. Take care.